Hi everyone, my name is Noah, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to build an LTE weather station. LTE means long-term evolution, which is just a fancy name for the communication protocol between cellular devices like this one and cell towers. I gave my weather station this capability because it could practically send weather data from almost anywhere, as long as it's in range of a cell tower. By giving my station this capability, I plan to place it somewhere out in a field in a remote area where it can get accurate weather readings, and then collect a week's worth of weather data to review at the end of this video. This project works by sending a payload of weather data collected by various sensors on the station to a database in intervals of 30 minutes. But the weather station doesn't just send the data directly to the database, there's actually two other intermediate layers in the data forwarding process, and I'll be explaining how that works, plus I built the rest of the project in this video. So this is how I did it. First, I needed to find a microcontroller that had a pretty uncommon feature, a SIM card slot. This is important because without a SIM card, you can't connect to a cellular network and transfer data. And even though some ESP32 boards, such as the Seed right here, have Wi-Fi on them, this actually didn't have enough range for my use case. This led me to realize that none of the boards I currently have would work. So after looking around, I found the LilyGo T7000G, and after ordering it and finding it, here's what it looks like. So first off, we have our SIM card slot and our cellular modem. And on top of this, we also have the ESP32 module, which allows it to read normal C++ code uploaded from, for example, the Arduino IDE. And then on the other hand, we have a battery slot in the back, which could store a powerful battery that could help keep the board alive for a long time, which is great for my use case because I'm going to be placing it in remote locations where I can't just change the battery every couple of hours. So anyway, now that we've gone over the board, here are the extra pieces that come with it. So first we have a GPS module. I won't be using this too much because I know where I'm going to be placing the board, so it's not really going to be moving either, so the GPS isn't important. And this is what is important though, the antenna, which is connected right here, and it just basically amplifies the LTE signal. So when I'm trying to send data collected by sensors from the board over the internet, that signal is amplified and it can reach cell towers much easier now. I already knew the main types of data I wanted to collect with the station: temperature, humidity, wind speed, and air pressure. And from some past projects, I already had a temperature and humidity sensor. So I just needed to find a wind speed and a pressure sensor, which wasn't too hard. So after finding some online and ordering them, everything started to come together. But there were still two other things on the hardware side I needed to set up: getting the body of the station, and ordering and setting up the SIM card for the LilyGo, which I'd never done before. So first I decided to ask for some guidance on SIM cards, and found that Hologram had good IoT SIM cards for my use case. So I ordered one of those, and then as I waited, I decided to design the body for the weather station and get them printed. Then finally, the SIM card came, and after following all the instructions it gave, I successfully set it up and put it into the LilyGo board like this. Then after a bit of testing, I figured out due to certain security protocols I couldn't send data directly from the station to the database, but I could send it to a phone number. This led me down a rabbit hole of deciding which type of IoT data pipeline to use, and eventually I decided to go with this architecture. So first, I hosted a phone number and SMS webhook on Twilio, so that when this phone number is texted, it would activate a webhook that would tell a serverless function I set up on Railway to retrieve the data texted to the phone number, and then forward it to a database where it would be displayed on the front end of a website I bought with the domain shabahoweather.com. And so eventually, after I coded and set up each layer of the architecture and had a couple of successful test runs with it, all I needed to do was solder and assemble the weather station, and then the project would be done and ready for its 1-week trial. So after first soldering the sensors on and finishing up the final code, I zip tied the rest of the project together with a long-lasting battery inside, and just like that, the weather station side of the project was completely done. So now all I need to do is set up a web app that interfaces with the database receiving sensor data from the weather station, and then on the website, give the user the option to either look at today's weather data or past day's weather data. So after a bit of work, I finally got a good iteration of the site that's ready to be used, so here's a quick look at it. So first off, we have one day right now that's in the database hooked up to the website, and it's just example data that I made up, as you can see here. And so to start off with, each day that's in the database is represented by its own individual card that pops up below like this. And you could search up any day you want and it will go to the top of this. And then anyway, over here we have our general view graph, which shows all of the different weather metrics on one graph. and then you can see specific numbers just by hovering over the lines. And then in each of these isolated graphs, it just shows a little bit more of a clear view of each specific metric that the weather station captures. So with that, the project's finally done, and I'm going to go find a good place to put it. So I just put the weather station in a nice open area where it can get accurate weather readings while still being able to reach a cell tower. And now we'll check back in a week to see what the weather station sends back.
Once in a while I dream. Once in a while I think of you.
So after waiting for a week, I've been keeping up with the website daily, and the station's had a very smooth trial. So now let's take a look at some of the data that the weather station sent back. So as you can see, now we have our 7 days worth of weather data from the 1 week trial. And we can just start by clicking through all the different day cards and seeing how this date up here changes, while also the corresponding weather data for that day gets loaded into this graph as well as all these other isolated graphs. And one other thing I wanted to show at the website, now that we have multiple day cards in, is the search feature. So let's say I'm looking for July 20th and there's too many day cards to search through. All I need to do is just search up 20/7 and it instantly gets shot to the top. And now we could just click that day and see that data. So anyway, besides that, that's about it for the 1 week trial. So with that, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions about the project, let me know in the comments.
From the first moment I saw you, I knew I had